Magnesium. This is literally the most important nutrient that so many people are not getting. So on this video, I want to talk about what magnesium does, what the first sign of magnesium deficiency is so that you're aware. And I'm going to talk about all the other magical things that magnesium does that you might notice, like, wow, something as simple as adding in a magnesium supplement could actually be a game changer for your health. So it's my favorite nutrient. I'm so excited to be doing this video for you because I know a lot of you will be helped by the information. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing I have to tell you is I do have a very favorite magnesium product. So this video is sponsored to you by Biooptimizers. Not only do they have a really cool magnesium product that you can use to help you go to sleep, but they have one of the more complete amounts of magnesium in a capsule form. So I use both of them before I go to bed to help me not only sleep, but to help with many of the situations and conditions I'm going to talk about here. I know a lot of you are going to ask me about like what the different magnesiums are. Yes, different magnesiums do different things, types of magnesiums in your body. What I love about Biooptimizers is their products incorporate almost every single magnesium. So you just get it in one-stop shop. Love that. Okay, here's what you need to know about magnesium. 300 chemical reactions it does in your body. 300 of them. It ranges everything from energy production to heart health, to hormone production, to brain function, to your ability to be able to sleep. So when you are missing this one nutrient, this one mineral, all of these things can go off. Now, energy production is a really interesting one because magnesium is needed to take your food and convert it into energy. And it does that not only through the digestive system and helping you break down your food, but when we're getting those nutrients into the cell, you need those mitochondria, those little powerhouses of the cell, to be ready to be energized by the nutrients you eat. And magnesium is key for taking in all the Bs, taking in all this vitamin C, all the other nutrients that you've been focused on in eating a good quality meal. You gotta have magnesium to activate that mitochondria to take those nutrients and produce energy for you. So energy production is key. Second thing that hopefully you know is muscle function. So when we contract a muscle, our ability to contract a muscle and relax it, so it's called eccentric or concentric and eccentric type movement of these muscles, is determined by magnesium. So if you are getting a lot of muscle spasms and you're struggling to relax those muscles, or you walk around and you're like, I feel really tight, a lot of times that's because you're not moving into this relaxed state with your muscles, and magnesium can help you do this. This is very much like, hopefully you all have heard me talk about parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous systems and how our body needs to be able to go into fight or flight and rest and digest. Well, our muscles are the same way. We need to be able to contract a muscle and then relax a muscle. So in fact, I will tell you that the number one sign, I said that at the beginning of this video, the number one sign you are low in magnesium is stiffness. It is the inability to relax your muscles. You've got to have it to let those muscles non-contractive state in this relaxive state. So if you're stiff, try magnesium. Okay, the other thing that we know about magnesium is that it really helps with nerve production. So this is where I want you to think of it from a neurotransmitter standpoint. Remember that your neurotransmitters help you stay happy. They help you think right. Magnesium is like the orchestra leader for all these neurotransmitters. So think of it like this. You've got this symphony of neurotransmitters that need to be played. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin and GABA and acetylcholine, these great neurotransmitters that keep you happy and focused and relaxed. And there's a conductor that decides when each one is coming in, and that conductor's name is magnesium. So if you're low in magnesium, what can happen is all of a sudden maybe you get in a high anxious state. You can't relax because the conductor isn't there to tell, hey, GABA, come in. Hey, dopamine, shut down. It's not there to orchestrate all of those little pieces that are needed to make these neurotransmitters work right for you. I love that about magnesium. A couple of other things that are important to know about magnesium is that it's definitely important for heart health. Those of you, check this out, because I know a lot of you are doing this if you've been following me for some time. HRV. What is HRV? Heart rate variability is your body's ability to move in and out of sympathetic and parasympathetic state. If your HRV is lower, it means that you're going to be in more of a fight or flight state. When you're in more of a fight or flight state, that has a negative impact on your cardiovascular system. So we've got to be able to move in and out of these two states, and heart rate variability is how you'll know how well you're moving into parasympathetic and back into sympathetic. Well, if those, I've seen many of you, your comments, I see a lot of the people in my academy, we've talked about this. If you want to bring heart rate variability back up, try dosing with magnesium and see if all of a sudden your heart rate variability goes up. It may just be something as simple as you needed more magnesium. That's how powerful magnesium is. Okay. Blood sugar regulation. Those of you who are like, I can't get over into my fat burning state. I can't get there because my blood sugar won't drop. Well, what if magnesium was the issue, a depletion of magnesium? Because magnesium, when you have the right levels, makes you more insulin sensitive. So that might be the missing thing. And I see a lot of your comments like, I can't make ketones. I can't burn fat. Maybe you need more magnesium. We're going to talk about ways to get magnesium in too, because there's some cool ways. Moods, we talked about that. That's the whole neurotransmitter system. And then the last one, this is really important. And then I'm going to go into more on the deficiency. So stick with me here. But this is really near and dear to my heart. And I know many of you come to me for hormone information. If you are low in magnesium, it could be taking down your progesterone. It could be taking down estrogen, testosterone, and DHEA. It is critical for all four of those. So if you're a menopausal woman and you're already going down the path of depletion of those hormones and now you're magnesium deficient, you're going to notice a lower amount of hormones than need be. So let's add magnesium back in. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free. And it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool. And it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy. Okay, now, outside of how would you know if you're deficient, I'm just going to ramble off some symptoms here so that you can all see this. We talked about the number one symptom being muscle cramping or spasming. I would even say stiffness is before that. When you get up out of a chair and you're like, oh God, I'm so achy. Maybe it's magnesium. Fatigue and weakness because you're not making energy. So if you're fatigued, maybe you need some magnesium. Now, I will tell you that magnesium can make you a little sleepy. So take it at night before you go to bed so you have energy the next day, but you sleep well at night. Digestive system problems, constipation, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, all of that, your whole digestive system works off of magnesium and has to have a proper amount of magnesium. So maybe it can help your digestive situations. Numbness and tingling in the hands, numbness and tingling in other parts of your body, even migraines. I'm going to throw migraines into that. That can be nerve irritation because you don't have enough magnesium. Personality changes, like all of a sudden you're anxious and depressed for no reason. Try just taking some magnesium to start with and see how that works. And then again, back at hormones. If you're like, I can't get my hormones to the level that I want, maybe you're missing magnesium. Now, I want to point out a couple of interesting things because I've played with this nutrient a lot. I play with it in my fasted state. I add magnesium in a lot. We've talked about that. I play with it before I go to sleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like achy, there literally is a jar of magnesium sitting right next to my table. I'll take a couple magnesium and it helps me relax those muscles. But the new thing that I've really enjoyed for magnesium are those magnesium floats. If you have one of those float stations near you, that can be really a cool way to get magnesium in through your skin. So I try to get to one of those once a week. And what I notice is not only am I more relaxed when I come out of it, but what I notice is that I sleep better, and I move better for days afterwards, because it's another way of getting it in. Now, we have to remember that not always is oral supplementation the perfect way to get a nutrient in. And our skin is the largest organ of our body. So when you're floating for an hour in one of these sensory deprivation tanks, which is actually really cool, if you're like scared about it, I got to tell you, in the magnesium, you calm down and it's a really cool experience. The first time I did it, I was like panicked that I was going to go bored for an hour. But after about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you're floating in warm water and you just chill out. You're so relaxed. And then like I leave the float place and I'm just feel so in my body and centered. So if you really are not noticing a difference with supplementation, try it in a float tank and see what happens. But if you and I were standing in line together at the grocery store and you said, what's the one nutrient I need that above all else, I would tell you it's magnesium. Dr. Stephanie Estima and I did a podcast interview together on my Resetter podcast. You can go look it up. My team will probably leave a link here for you. And we were asked by our communities, what's the number one nutrient that any woman should have? And I said, okay, how about we say it at the same time? We didn't know what each other was going to say. And we both said magnesium. It's literally that important. So easy to take, not a lot of side effects. You know you've taken too much, by the way. If all of a sudden your bowels get too loose, then just back off on them. But the power of this one nutrient is beyond anything I can possibly explain. So hopefully you got my enthusiasm in this video. And as always, let me know. If magnesium helped you, put it in the comments so we can all learn from each other. And as always, I hope that helps. Okay, where are my gals that are struggling with hormonal imbalance? Bloated, feeling like you're not making progress with weight loss? You need to add these foods in so that you can support better hormonal health. There is a lifestyle that estrogen wants you to live, and there is a lifestyle that progesterone wants you to live.